He is the bread of life. Amen. That He sustains us. It says there in verse 43 that the disciples came and they picked up 12 baskets full of broken fish and pieces of fish. In other words, He is more than enough. More than enough, amen. To what? Satisfy us. He is more than enough to satisfy our deepest longings, our deepest desires. He is the one that fulfills it, makes us satisfied. Only Him. Amen? There was more than enough. There's more than enough for Messiah to go around. Amen? More than enough. 12 baskets full of broken fish and bread. He's the God of multiplication. He likes to multiply, amen. The bread of life. But there's more here. And why this miracle is so amazing, that He not only fed all those that were there, but it's interesting to see, because Matthew, Mark, and Luke, right? They say this is how they end the story, just like we read here in Mark. The people ate, they were satisfied, and then they picked up the leftovers. And the gospel tells you here, these gospels, the synoptic gospel, they tell you how many people were there. They say there were 5,000 people. 5,000. This is how the story ends, and it goes on. But there's more to this, more to it, and if that wasn't enough, and there's always more in God, the more part is found in John's gospel. In John. Remember, this is one that appears in all four. We pick up now John 6:13. Look what John 6:13 says. Same story, says this. So they gathered them and filled 12 baskets and broken pieces from the 5 barley loaves, which were left over by those who had finished eating. Verse 14, when the people saw the sign that Yeshua performed, they began to say, this is most certainly the prophet who is to come into the world. Realizing that they were about to come and seize Him by force to make Him king, Yeshua withdrew to the mountain Himself alone. Wow. Why is this awesome? Why is this significant? What John is recording here, the others don't. When the people saw the sign, wait, what sign? The healings? No. The deliverances? People being set free? No. When they saw the sign, the miracle, the wonder that He sustained all of them by a little piece of bread, the connection was made. It all clicked. A veil was removed. And they said, this one is most certainly the prophet, or this one is the Messiah. This is Mashiach. This is the one Moses wrote about. It was all building up to this point. Teaching, healing. He was actually teaching about the kingdom. The kingdom. We read in the Gospels. And then He does this amazing sign. Feeds them all. And the veil. This is the Messiah. You see that Yeshua didn't have to go around, hey, listen, I'm going to heal you. I'm the Messiah. The Sadducees, you're giving me a hard time. Listen, I'm the Messiah. He didn't have to do all that. He let the signs speak for themselves. Amen. And the veil was removed. They received the Lord, were open, eyes were open organically. Right there. He said, this one is the prophet that Moses wrote about. Moses wrote about. I'll give you the reference, Deuteronomy 18:18. This is known as a messianic prophecy, speaking of the Messiah. Even by those who don't believe that Yeshua is the Messiah. It says this, Deuteronomy 18:18 says, I will raise up a prophet like you from them, from among their brothers. I will put my words in his mouth. And he will speak to them all that I command. And he will speak to them all that I command him. They realize here that Yeshua was this one he's talking about. I will raise up a prophet like you. Jesus is the one standing before them. Yeshua is the one standing before them. Is this one that Moses spoke about. This prophecy here is universally accepted that this is talking about the Messiah. Put it all together here, what we're talking about. This one that just fed them in the wilderness like Moses, man, is the Messiah standing right there before them. Mashiach. This is why this sign, this miracle is in all the Gospels. Because it testifies to who he is. Amen?